Welcome people of the World Wide Web. So it's Wednesday, it's your normal look what I've been watching, and even though I've been away with work and I've managed to accumulate quite a large selection. Let's try and not give away. So yeah, 10 DVD slash Blu-rays for this week's video. So as usual, we will get into it in reverse order. So as people well know, I'm doing my 100 list, 100 bucket list movies of the scratch card where you scratch it off and then you have the movie and then you watch it, blah, blah, blah. Number 99 to watch. Number 100 is in the post, so hopefully I will finish this before Christmas, is the Indian film Three Idiots. So it's Amir Khan, not a cricketer, if I pronounce his name right, it is him. He is in Lagaan, who previously watches 2 hours and 45 minutes. Surprisingly, a really, really good movie. So this covers basically the story of these three. They are engineer students and it's their 4 years at engineering school. Stuff happens, you know, they make friends, they go through this, and then it's kind of, the film is initially set on them 5 years afterwards, and then basically they all go through, and by the end they kind of have their own paths, and this guy, the main guy, he disappears, and it's kind of his friends trying to find him. Very interesting story, very, very compelling. Starts off quite Bollywood, you have some of the singing there, but then it kind of comes down, there's a lot more emotional and feelings into it. This guy, Amir Khan, it's actually really, I've watched him in, say, Lagaan, and now I've watched him in this, actually really, really good. He plays like a young teenager, I would say, for Indian, when they're in the technical students and then 20s. Like the guy's in his 40s, but he's got a very young face. A very, very good actor. He is, I think, the highest paid Bollywood actor, and you can kind of see from it, obviously this is his kind of love interest which comes along, and she does a very good job as well. But yeah, very, very good, recommended. It cost me just over 10 quid to get this. I'm glad to have this on the collection. We'll definitely watch it again. You have to watch it subtitled, but their language, they do speak, is it Hindi, and then sometimes they go to English and back, so it does throw you a little bit. Next is obviously from Spike Lee, is the Black KK Klansman. So this is a telling of or based on real events of a black police officer, or a coloured police officer, or apologies, don't want to offend, but yeah, it's obviously a officer of colour who goes basically kind of undercover with Kylo Ren. I always call him Kylo Ren because I always forget he's Adam Driver. And these two are basically part of a unit who trying to uncover the KKK and basically get them a lot convicted, and a lot of stuff that goes in there. Some funny bits and stuff. It's a very small, you know, it isn't as epic film as you would think. It's very much Spike Lee themed. I mean, it was alright, it's interesting to watch. It wasn't, the ending wasn't quite where I was expecting it to go. But I mean, the cast and that all work quite well. It is quite a good film. It's just over 2 hours, so yeah, I'd recommend that. Revisiting some old stuff, so Escape from New York, obviously the first Snake Plissken movie. I watched it. I did like this, but I found that the memories of this is actually from Escape from LA, and I think that's one I prefer more. I mean, the themes and the tones and how old school, and that what does work partially really well. You know, it has that Running Man and the old, you know, New York setting off and that. But I think that technology and maybe the budget was increased for the second one. It works far much better with a bit more CG and computer animation and a few other bits in there. But it's still quite a good film, quite good. You know, say glad to have it in the collection for ages and glad to revisit it. Next one obviously was spoke about previously is obviously My Name is Bruce. It was in one film, and then I went on and mentioned this in my in-depth collection because I come across this, so I did end up watching it. This was okay to me. This was a very much TV movie with Bruce Campbell in it. Yeah, as I say, he's got that TV. You kind of switch your brain off and enjoy the kind of hilarity and silly things. Obviously, he does poke fun at himself. Some of it is based on it. I think it is directed by Bruce Campbell himself, and is obviously he plays himself, but as a fictional side of things. And there are a few. I think some of it was filmed in his own house and stuff like that. But I say it's all right as TV movies go. If I would to kind of correlate all these movies, I prefer Ash and Bubba Hotep above this. But Then obviously because I went to see Five Nights at Freddy, we had Willy's Wonderland, which is again similarly based. I haven't had time to read into the bonus stuff, so I don't know if this is a rip off of Five Nights at Freddy. Five Nights at Freddy is a rip off of this, or it's just the same similar. There are a lot of connections to this. Nicolas Cage barely says a word in this, but I thought it was alright. Of how it's funny. It's kind of. I thought this was an alright film and had a few things going for it. I felt Five Nights at Freddy had a few things. If you would combine probably the graphics and the animatronic and the puppets of Five Nights at Freddy and put it in with this, I think you'd actually make it a really, really super good movie. But it's all right. As Nicolas Cage movies go, it's all right. It's not his greatest one, but it's an interesting watch. Then we have Luke Evans as Dracula in Dracula Untold. I quite like this movie. I said I watched it at the cinema. I think I paid £8 for this Blu-ray. I think the incarnation and how they go about and how he sticks to his family, it definitely, for me, was an enjoyable watch. The theme, the settings, the CG, all worked really, really well. The acting. I think it did flounder in a few places, which may have led to it not doing as well as I think it did. It definitely opened up the ends to have like a sequel of him travelling through time, or even maybe like a series like Highlander, but of the Dracula one. I think would have worked really well. But yeah, good. Glad I've got this sort of collection. Glad it was a good watch. Never Let Go, obviously Andrew Garfield movie, one I've never seen, never even heard of. So this is based on a world where you have kind of a Catholic school. You have all these kids, and you find out that basically to increase people's life age, they create clones of themselves. These clones grow up, and basically, as time goes on, they will donate their organs until they die to the proper people, so the proper people can live longer. It kind of is stretching on how like age and cloning and stuff like this, and it takes a few elements probably from the real world, but is a little bit far-fetched. And basically you have 3 of these people, and it's how they connect and stuff, and obviously you know where they go. It's very sad, very strong emotional, very down, very gritty, raw film. It's based on a best-selling novel. Not read it, can't say, but it was alright as Andrew Garfield's go. The characters are a little weird, but I don't know if you were born into a world where they're not supposed to know they're clones and this happens, but they find that out, and it's just it is a very weird thing about clones, because obviously we do have people that obviously have other kids to help their, and I think it probably links on there, and if you've been exposed to that sort of environment, then you probably relate to this quite well. Then we have one of my birthday presents, so this is the steelbook for Jujutsu Kaisen 0. So this is a movie set before the TV series. That's why I believe it's called Jujutsu. And you have this young lad. Basically, him and his girlfriend are in love. She unfortunately dies, and then he becomes cursed. He then gets taken on as one of the Jujutsu Kaisen students with probably don't. So what essentially the first years, which are in the third, they're 2 years on when we see him in the TV series. You have kind of the big bad and stuff like this. This film had an interesting story and interesting plot. I say it's very interesting for the first film of a franchise to go without the main protagonist in the series, but obviously it wants to add the groundwork for some other characters. You get to meet a lot of student characters I haven't met because I haven't seen season 2. But it was a very interesting, you kind of would need to see this film, I think, before watching the series to get a better idea. Because you are exposed to these 2 characters who you've never met before, and the story revolves quite a lot around them, and kind of the demon that is related to the girl. I'll give it that much away. You don't really get to see much of the other characters, or you only see bits of them, and I think that's maybe because they don't want to give too much away in the TV series. But there we go. Down to the last 2. So we have a series that I bought recently. So it's The Devil is a Part-Timer. Very, very good series. And they did make a second series, but I think it's going to be very hard to find. So he is basically the devil. In his devil world, he rules with his disciples. They rule over the different areas. You have 2 of his minions here. Unfortunately, there is a hero lady, which you will see here. So the girl with the red hair, she is like a hero knight. She defeats most of his disciples, and he escapes through a portal into another dimension to get away from it. The other dimension is actually the future in the human world. And in the human world, he doesn't have money powers. Obviously, he only feeds off fear. So, because obviously he's in, I think, Tokyo or Japan, Tokyo in Japan, sorry. He doesn't have any power to get back. So him and his disciple initially, they have to find jobs. So he finds a job at McDonald's, which is a mixtape of McDonald's, obviously, and that's why he's a part-timer. He is a part-time restaurant employee to basically make money to keep him and his friends alive, fed, and stuff like this, housed. And then basically the protagonist, or the knight who's trying to get she, also comes through the portal, but realizes that now the devil is kind of he's a nice guy, knows he's been around the humans and stuff, and you more the characters, and it is very, you say McDonald's and stuff like this, there's quite a few funny takes, and stuff, and him building relationships, and that realizing that, yeah, you were this demon, but now you're surrounded by the humans and have to live and work and interact with them. You actually makes you more humane inside, and yeah, it's very, very good. I really, really liked it. I say it was, I think, £3 from CX for the whole series. So, and then the final one was Hitman 47. So this is one I picked up a little while ago. It's all right. I've never played the games. I don't know much about Agent 47. I'm not going to give too much away. It was an okay story. I didn't mind the Timothy Olyphant version. I didn't mind this version. There's nothing great to speak about, not knowing the history of the Hitmen. It's very far-fetched in places and stuff, which explains what they are. But it was all right. Obviously, with this Hitman, you have this other character that is focused a bit more on, so it dilutes. I don't know, whereas the first film was more about just Agent 47. But there we go. That is Look What I've Been Watching this week. Obviously, quite a pile of stuff. Have you seen any of these? Do you agree, disagree with me? Let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, thanks for watching the video. Hope you keep safe, and I'll see you in the next one.